Good evening, fuckers. We are back with the next Train Simulator Classic request video. This one is the third and, well, for the moment it has to be the last of the sort of reenactments, recreations, reconstructions, however you want to put it, of train journeys that I myself have taken. Rather like the last one though, it's only a partial reenactment of it because I can only go part of the way. So yeah, this is a journey that I took back in 1991 and it was my one and only journey on an Intercity 125 class 43, however you want to call it. You know, one of the greatest trains to have ever been built. And yeah, my journey back then was from London King's Cross to Leeds. Now I can't do that in this one. In fact, I can only go to the first stop that we had on this journey, which was at Peterborough. So yeah, King's Cross to Peterborough is the route we are taking on the, shockingly, East Coast Main Line, London to Peterborough route DLC. So our train is, yeah, the standard sort of layout. It's a 9 coach and 2 power car consist. It's a livery that I didn't recognise when I'm back at the time, and well, actually I'll get into you know, the whole story and that once we started. But anyway, yes, it's this livery, and yeah, 9 coaches. I'm pretty sure I've got the consist wrong. I've used the wrong coaches for starters, but oh well, it's close enough. And as far as the specifics, it is summer, it's clear, and it's midday, because I know the total journey took like 2.5 hours, and I arrived at Leeds at 2:30. So, you know, you don't have to be a genius to work out when we actually departed. So there we go, that is the setup. Let's get this up and running. And cut here. Okay, here we are in our class 43, and I'm rather glad to say that yeah, the cab here is one of the rather more simplified ones. We do not have the ATP system in this one. I'm not remotely sorry about that. Anyway, here's how it looks from the outside. So yeah, when I first saw it, I was coming in from this end, except it was on this side here, so yeah, where this one here is. At first I didn't recognise it, and it was only when I paid closer attention to the lights that I realised, hang on, this is an Intercity 125, and it was like, at long last I'm going to get the chance to take a train journey on an Intercity 125, and like 5-year-old me came rushing up to the surface. It was all I could think about. I wasn't interested in the fact that I was going to meet some tart that I had the hots for up in Leeds. I wasn't interested in the fact that, yeah, it was going to be the first of 3 really good metal gigs that I was going to. None of that interested me. All I could think was, I'm going to take a journey on the Intercity 125. But yeah, I didn't recognise the livery, so I had to get a bit closer to it before I realised. But yeah, you can see here I've put the wrong carriages on. These are, yeah, the original livery Mark III carriages, not the new Intercity Swallow livery. But I mean, certainly not in 1991, or at least I highly doubt it. But obviously, when they did first introduce this livery, there were plenty of occasions when you would get, you know, these trains with mismatched liveries and that. It was somewhat inevitable. Okay, well, let's get this set up. So it's fairly straightforward, actually. And it's made quite straightforward by the fact that yeah, we don't have the ATP system to set up. So we'll set yeah, to daylight. Don't need the cab lights on at the moment. We do need to set up the ETS, because otherwise there's no lights or anything in the main cab. We've got a Class 180 coming in. And that is, yeah, that is our train set up. So yeah, you can see there's already the old diesel fuse coming out of there, because with the ETS operational, that is going to be yeah, using power. Right, let's actually, no, let's not. We'll reduce the brakes. We won't take them off completely because we have not yet let on the passengers. So let's get everyone on. Looks like a few people got off. No doubt they saw me getting into the driver's seat, and that was all the excuse they needed to say, yeah, we're not hanging around. The other thing I remember as we were, as I did this journey in real life, is that all around me I could see plenty of Class 91s. And I remember thinking, yeah, it looks good, it looks a lot more modern, but it's not an Intercity 125. So I really did not care that I was in the supposed older, you know, less impressive train. As far as I was concerned, I was getting on the greatest train to have ever been built. So it had the signal from the guard. Let's release the brakes, and we will view it from the external. We'll see what we get in terms of the amount of clag from our engines. So let's get underway. Let's put it straight up in a notch 5. There we go. There's a good amount. Obviously it's not as much as the Class 50, but you wouldn't expect that. Or Class 37, that's another one that churns out a good amount. But, yeah, looks pretty good to me. Now I have done a couple of very short test runs in this thing, and yeah, I've not taken it up to full speed. I've not taken it even close to full speed. I've also not really had the chance to test the brakes out yet either. So Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how this thing does. So we are approaching a 45 zone. In fact, we are now entering it, but yeah, as always, we've got to wait for the entire train to get in before. We're also going uphill 1 in 107, so that means we are slowing down a lot quicker than I would have liked. Very nearly in the 45 zone now. There we go. Let's take it right the way up. So the reason why I can't do the full journey recreation, like I say, after Peterborough, which was our first stop, the next stop was Sheffield. And I've got no way of getting from Peterborough to Sheffield. After Sheffield it was Doncaster, then after Doncaster was Wakefield, and then finally Leeds itself. So it was a bit of a weird route actually that we took, because obviously on the East Coast main line from here to Peterborough, and I dare say a lot of the way up towards you know, Yorkshire and that, and then somewhere we had to come off in order to get to Sheffield. Then we had to rejoin the East Coast main line in order to get to Doncaster, and then leave it again to get to yeah, Wakefield and then Leeds. So yeah, a weird old route. So because yeah, the fact that this route we are recreating, we did not stop until Peterborough, it means that yeah, this is going to be a non-stop run. We're not stopping it until we get to Peterborough itself. We're not going to get the chance to go at 125 mph until we reach, well, we pass Welwyn Garden City. We have a 700 going by there. So that 700 could end up going to Moorgate. I do now have the extension to this route that takes you to Moorgate station. Obviously you've got to be in the right kind of train to do that. And if you are starting or finishing at Moorgate station, the furthest away you can go is Welwyn Garden City. So here we are at Finsbury Park. I thought Finsbury Park was close to the Arsenal football ground, but I couldn't see it anywhere. Oh well, maybe I missed it. Because you know, a big old stadium like the Emirates, it's easy to miss. So here is Haringey. We're on the avoiding line there. So yeah, we were not going to be stopping at that one. Really hear that whistling of the turbocharger there. So here is Hornsey station. Next station, Alexandra Palace. A lot of trains around here as well, which I'm rather glad to see. Plenty of AI traffic. Looks like we got yet a 180 coming straight towards us. Fucking hopeless things. Well, they still are hopeless things, constantly breaking down. They're so unreliable, it's not true. So anyway, Alexandra Palace station we've just been through. We are now speeding, bloody hell. Well, we do have a 100 mph zone which we are fast approaching. So here we go, into a 100 zone as we're approaching New Southgate station. There we are. That was New Southgate. Alright, we'll go up to 115 in just over a mile. And then we have Oakley Park station. One thing I do remember about this trip is that having seen the adverts at the time, they would always show like businessmen writing out stuff, you know, leaning on the tables in front of them and that. And yeah, this bird I was meeting in Bradford was actually a pen friend. Well, I was meeting her in Leeds, but she lived in Bradford. We were going on to Bradford, that's where the show also was. New Barnet station coming up. So anyway, I thought I would start writing a bit of my next pen friend letter while I was on the train. Anyway, I wrote about 2 lines before I gave up. You could not write at all. It was so unsteady. It was shaking about all over the place and everything else. It was a total waste of time. So yeah, that was one part of the advert which was complete bollocks. I mean, I know, adverts lying, it's hard to believe, isn't it? So we are up to 3 figures, up to 101 and climbing. We're in the 115 zone. So here is Hadley Wood Station. Now I think that pretty much is the last of the London suburb stations. No, it isn't, because we've got Potter's Bar next. But I think that might be the last of the London suburb stations. Yeah, the commuter stops and that. But I think all of the commuter trains, which would be, well, nowadays the 700s, you've seen a few 700s in this run, 365s, 321s, we've seen all of those. Yeah, they would still be running past Potter's Bar. They could go as far as Welwyn Garden City. Some of them, the 365, would go as far as Peterborough. So yeah, here is Potter's Bar station. We are struggling to get beyond 102. And it could be the consist I'm using. I find that hard to believe. There's nothing unusual about this consist. 9 coaches to, you know, driver cars. It's completely standard. Okay, so yeah, we're now up to 106. Here is Brookman's Park. And it could well be that there is something else I need to do in the cab in order to allow us to accelerate a little bit quicker. I've no idea what. It looks like Welham Green that we've just gone through there. As it is, we're now doing quite nicely. 113, we're very nearly at the max speed we can do in this section. So let's ease off the throttle a bit. We're now at 115. I have already got a speeding error, so I suppose it won't be the end of the world if I get another one. Notch 2 is keeping us quite nicely at 115. We're approaching Hatfield, well in Hatfield as I really know it, but it appears that that is not its actual name. It's very staggered platforms. So yeah, there we go, that's Hatfield, we just raced through. Looks like we may be going through Welwyn Garden City on a avoiding line. I didn't think there was one. There's a 365. But yeah, clearly there is. This is Welwyn Garden City. Which means it's not long after here that or maybe it's not long after Welwyn North we get our first 125 mph zone. We're really slowing down now. It's notch up down to 102. It could be because we're going uphill. 319 passing us by. I'm really not a fan of the 319s, ugly looking thing, especially in the network southeast livery. So here is Welling North. And there, just a mile or so up the line, is the 125 zone that we are waiting for. I think the 125 zone starts pretty much as soon as we come out of this tunnel. So there it is, there's the sign just gone by there. And we are now in it, so 125 mph is possible. Can we get it up to that speed? We've got a downhill section coming up, that will certainly help as we're approaching Nebworth station. The thing is, this particular trip that I took, say in '91, and the main reason for going was, yeah, I wanted to see the three, the three gigs that I went to, the Gods of Grind 2 tour. Headline act was Carcass, and also playing were Entombed, Cathedral, and Confessor. Go through Nebworth there. So it's four bands that I did really like, and yep, for the first show I was also getting to see that with some bit that I had the hots for, and all the shows were great, no doubt about it. They're all properly decent. But the one thing that I remember more than anything else is this train journey. It just completely overshadowed everything. As soon as I saw the 125, say, I've been obsessed with these things since I was like 5 years old, back in 1977 when I first saw one. There goes another 365. So we're approaching Stevenage. So we're at 121, not far off our top speed. We are at 125. In fact, we are now speeding. And even taking it down to notch 2, we are not slowing down fast enough. Now we are. Well, let's put it back into notch 2, because I think that we will continue to slow, but at a very, very low rate. But we did make it. We got up to 125. It's one of the goals achieved. And the other one is to be able to stop this thing. So I've not been able to test the brakes properly on this yet. I've no idea how good they are. I mean, they've got to be pretty fucking good, but yeah. So Hitchin station coming up. Again, we're on the avoiding line here, just going straight through. .365 coming in from, I'm not sure where that route goes. That might be the route that goes on to Letchworth Garden City and eventually up to Cambridge. Eventually all the way up to King's Lynn. Still on a 1 in 200 downhill. It's safe to say I do really like this AP version of the HST. Specifically, this is the Valenta engine one, because in what is only, I can only describe it as the most blatant of cash grabs. Archon Powerhouse have split the Class 43 HST into 3 separate DLCs, the cheapest of which is 25 quid. And yeah, each one represents the HST with a different engine. The Valenta engine is the one that sounds the best by far. The other two makes it sound like it's powered by a tractor engine. Alsey that we are approaching again, just on the avoiding line, straight through it. And take it up to notch 5. Even at notch 4 we were still losing speed. Let's try and get us back up to 125 mph. Wade, our next station. So yeah, I just noticed a bit late there that we were at 125. Coming up here, another 365. So yeah, Biggleswade station. goes 321. Here comes Sandy Station. Again, too really looking at the sense of speed is sort of rather captivating, and I keep watching that rather than watching the speedo. A lot of whistle signs because of the amount of level crossings that there are. There's even more of them on the stretch between Peterborough and York. See if we can get any trackside views as we shoot past. Well, this is a lower view, but it's yeah. We are approaching St Neots Station. It doesn't look like we are going to get any trackside views here. That's not a particularly helpful one. No. So yeah, here is St Neots. Yeah, no avoiding line for that station, so yeah, we were having to go through it. Right, we have a speed reduction coming up down to 120. Let's coast down. I think the rate that we lose speed will be enough. You only need to lose another 1 mile per hour, and we had a mile in which to do it. There we go, so we're now fine. able to go back up to 125 in just under a mile and a half. Entering the 125 zone. There we go, we're now in there. Huntingdon is the next station. Again, we're on an avoiding line there. Station coming up, trains that in there, 319. So on a 1 in 200 uphill, and it's causing us to actually lose speed even though we are in the notch 5. So there's not really much we can do about it. Okay, so ground is now levelled. Hopefully that means we can start picking up speed again. And in fact it is going to be going downhill fairly soon, so at that point we should definitely be able to pick up speed. Yeah, at the moment we're 10 mph off the max. So yeah, 1 in 200 downhill now. speeding. Because of this 1 in 200 downhill, it's as if, yeah, our speed increases. It looked like it was still increasing even though we were in knots 3. So let's see, knots 2 can actually just maintain the 124. Like he's doing a pretty good job of it so far. In fact, it is going down still. We are now less than 10 miles from Peterborough, so it may not be a bad thing if we lose a few mph. Yeah, so we have a speed reduction down to 105 coming up. We are going to need to brake a little to get our speed down. So further speed reduction down to 100 in a mile and a half, but we're already below that. It is going back up to 115, less than a mile after the 100 zone that starts. So here we are in the 100 zone. Really cannot see why this is slower. It's gun barreled straight. There's nothing here. It's completely level as well. Yeah, that is quite a mystery to me, that one. So we're now back in the 115 zone. Doing right. Well, we've got a speed reduction anyway, back down to 105. I've not actually reached 105 yet. And we really do have a pretty hefty speed decrease coming up, down to 30. Certainly feels as though the brakes on this thing are properly decent. We're braking at a much faster rate than I thought we would. Certainly a much faster rate than we need to. So we have another HST approaching us. We've got a couple of 365s the other side. So we are gaining a little speed because we're on this downhill section. So let's try and reduce that. Yeah. Brakes are very slow to release. Pretty sure we can get the entire train on here. At the very least we'll be able to get all 9 carriages on here. And there we are. So that was London King's Cross to Peterborough. It's like the first stop that I made on this journey, but unfortunately it's the farthest I can go without deviating from yeah, the route that I actually took back then. But yeah, I mean it's a great route to do, not overly challenging to put it mildly. It's a pretty straightforward route, and this is a fantastic loco. I don't think that's going to surprise anybody. I mean, I'm absolutely obsessed with the original high-speed train, and yeah, the Armstrong Powerhouse version. Say this is the Valenta version. Yes, it is good. I think the pricing though is outrageous. If you want all 3 of the HSTs, you are looking at paying 85 quid for yeah, for all of those. That I think is a bit bang out of order. So 5 speeding errors. Well, it's about average for me, I think, that one. But yeah, I clearly not used to the throttle control of this thing, but I reckon, yeah, another run like that, I would certainly get the amount of operational errors a lot lower. And yeah, I reckon I could do alright on the next run. This was the first proper run that I gave this thing, so. But there we are. So that is that video done, and we will see you at the next one.